and we're starting. I'm on this screen, I'm on that screen. So getting back to what I was saying, personality types, traits. What are we talking about? We're talking about, zodiacs, personality types, personality traits. Going back to my renter, what was he saying? He was telling me that, well, it doesn't matter who he's with. As long as you're happy, yes, I get that, but obviously you don't want to be with a person, and this goes into the personality traits. Yes, with the personality traits, I guess you could consider it as being their water signs or their signs in general, or the zodiac, going back to the zodiac, because I believe there's truth in that too. You don't want to be with an individual, doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, that you're always clashing heads all the time. You can never agree. You can never even agree on anything. You can never agree to disagree. You're always fighting. Go back to what I was saying, whatever you put out in the universe, yes, you could get back. But going back to what my neighbor was saying to me the other day, he was like, oh, I could just be with anybody. It's okay. No, you can't. I mean, yeah, they're talking about, sexual wise. Yeah, okay, I guess you could see that's different. But as far as relationships wise, because I think he was also talking about it doesn't matter, it could be sex or relationships. I said, it's a totally different thing. Yeah, sex is one thing, I guess. If you want to be with anybody during sex, that's fine. But on the other scale, they're talking about friends with benefits as well, because that's what they do. They're in the friends with benefits type of situation. And also he was saying, oh, you can do the same thing in relationships. You can't, because, they might be good in bed, but the thing is that that same person in a relationship could be your worst enemy, because you could really just be with that type of person. Yeah, just having a good time, a lot of intimacy and sex, but in reality, in that relationship will never last, because you're always personality traits and types and personalities can clash. And I guess you could say it goes back to the zodiacs and the water signs, what's your sign and all that. Geminis go best with Leos. I don't know what your sign is. Doesn't matter if it's a man or woman. Yeah, having a sexual partner is one thing, but relationships are totally another thing. Need to be with someone. Yeah, you've heard this saying, opposites do attract. Yes, they do. My type of person I would like to be is I'm really into more dark goth type of women. But yes, Russian, Asian, different ones, but also, you can have discernment and pray on things like this and meditate. Sexual partner is different. Then you could have a friends with benefits situation. But as far as relationships go with these things, you just need to use wisdom and be wise. Because having a freak buddy, fuck buddy, sexual partner is totally different than the relationship issue or partners. Because if you want to stay with this person your whole life, you need to know you're best going to get along with this person. And this stuff right here, I used it before. Call me a feminine man, but I use this sometimes. I would only use it sometimes for when my eyes would get puffy. If I lack sleep, it takes away the puffiness out of my eyes. So, but find a person in your life that you can talk to them about anything. They're your best friend. You feel like they're your best friend. You could talk to them about anything, and you feel like you could be the real you. Because I've learned, even in relationships, if you've come to the point that you feel like you can't be the real you, you don't need to be with that person. You need to be with someone No matter how you act, they still accept you. And you can be the real and true, authentic you. Authentic you. Because with me, I crave authenticity. Authenticity. If I feel like you're not being true you of who I really think you are. And I can read through that. Um, I can read through it. Read through it. So be the real you around this person. If you're a guy, girl, whoever, because I've noticed it's not just men, it's women and some women. And I've studied it, I know it, I've studied it, and it's highly in narcissistic, conceited women that have a hard time finding relationships. But it's just like, what is narcissism? Narcissism goes back to selfishness, conceitedness. If you're one of those types of men, women, whoever, maybe you're not ready to be in a relationship because you can't see past your own self, your own ways to actually see and get into the footsteps. Because what conceited and narcissistic people do, it's hard for them to get into other people's footsteps. That's why relationships don't normally work out for them. Because they don't have the capability, to really care for others and to not be so selfish. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it can be necessary to be a selfish human being, and sometimes to care for yourself, because people can end up using you if all you do is take care of them and you don't ever take care of yourself. So yeah, self-help is good at times. I can't lie. But if you are the type of individual, that really don't care about others, don't give a shit about them, that people are literally just going to draw away and draw back from you. Even narcissistic people, that people come into their lives to heal from past relationships, be around you, and then they end up getting taken away by other partners. Well, do you think that's done by accident, or is that also some type of aspect, maybe even something else going on there? It could be spiritually, whatever else. Well, no, it's like one of those, if you've ever seen the movie Good Luck Chuck, where basically he was just around people like women, for instance. He would go in and have sex with a bunch of women, and they would come into him, and I guess maybe he was type of narcissistic, I don't know, but I've seen it in real life, even by men and women, that these people will come into your life just to have sex with you, and then they will get their healing that they need, and then they end up finding other partners and leaving out of your life to go be with theirs. And this is real. I've seen it time and time again. And then, there's other times where people just have sex for fuck buddies and then just leave and they don't get together, even though they desire to get with people they don't. That happens as well. But nothing in this world is really by accident, if you really think about it. And I know it's deeper than most people can conceive of and perceive of, but everything really happens for a reason in this life. It doesn't matter, even if it looks and perceives as an accident. Get it out of your head. Nothing is by accident. Not in this world, not in this universe. Never has, will, never ever will be an accident. I just turned 30, June the 10th. They say classify me as Gemini, but I crave the authentic person. And so I've had enough experience in my life, in my own life, in my own ways, that it's good to be loving, but also firming. Don't just be firming all the time. And no love. Don't be just so loving all the time, but don't be firm. You need to be both. Let the two complete each other, firm and loving. Don't be so selfish, but don't be too kind where people are always walking over you. Me in the middle, have two traits come together, and you know what? That's actually, they both complement each other, because that's how you actually win in life. Don't be too loving, don't be too anal, like aggressive and degressive. You can be aggressive and degressive, as in love and firm. That's how you win in life. You become spiritually rich by doing this. I've seen enough things in my life to know this. Even my own family's life, my mother and my father. And I can go ahead and tell you right now, they didn't know what they were doing. They got married around 1990 or 1987. They were just kids. They didn't know what they were doing. They just got into a marriage. And my father was so immature in their relationship. And pretty much the whole time he slept with other women without my mother even knowing through the whole 30 years. They were alcoholics. They drank themselves to death. They were mentally and physically abusive. Both destroyed each other basically. And now my mother ended up in a nursing home. He left and he went on to another relationship while he's probably doing the repeated thing, because I do come from a line of other family members that have a mental illness and narcissism and psychopathy, as in sociopath, mental disorders. And I know some families have this in their bloodline because it does always go back to the bloodline. The bloodline. To be honest with you, you can break generational curses. You can break cycles out of your own family's bloodline. And yes, you can be the one to stop it. Don't leave it in your grandparents that are already dead, your grandparents that are still alive, your brother, your sister, no one. You can be the one to stop all the bad trauma and everything in your own life, your family, all that. Be the curse stopper. Be the one that gets set free and broken out of your spiritual shackles. It can be done. Oh yes, it can be done. 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 Choose wisdom over knowledge. You can be the one to sleep around. Yeah, I'm not saying I can't really call out and say anything's wrong. I mean, I don't personally know, but some people, yeah, you just go out and experience life, experience things, because we all need experience. Even if it's in relationships, sleeping with other people until you find the one, then yeah, have at it, But, I'm not going to say nothing is immoral. I'm just going to say that get all the experience in this life while you still can, because eventually it's going to be over with. And I think a lot of people are going to regret having no experience in life. I've met people that had experience, but probably just did all the wrong things with the experience. But then I've had other people that have no experience in life and they're just clueless at the same time. So kind of like you can meet also in the middle of all that as well. So know your path, know where you want to go in this life. And I would recommend, doing it early as possible if you can, or know who you are, because if you've ever studied it, some people already know what they want early in life. I already knew what I want in life. Most people my age still don't know what they like. I just turned 30. I've met plenty of people who are at 30 and older that still don't even know what they want. Still don't know. I say it's a sad state, but a lot of people are aimless in life. I mean, and the realities of our world. A lot of people are aimless. You can say physical and spiritual. And when I point back to the spiritual, especially if you're talking about God or anything, you don't have to be all preachy on someone. You don't have to be fire and brimstone, religious nut job or whatever on somebody. You can believe in a higher power. That's fine. But you can leave out everything else, but you can believe in God. Yes, that's fine. But at the same time, yeah, don't just be pushing your own beliefs on someone, because I even find out people have no balance even in their spiritual walk. They have no balance, just like people need balance in life. Yeah, even the people that would preach their fire and brimstone would never be happy. Religious people. I've never seen one religious person, even from being born and raised in the South, I've never seen these people happy. Ever. And then on the other hand, you have other people, yes, they believe in God and they are happy. But I don't know. It's just different, I guess. But have balance like water, fire, and ice, cold and hot. Have a balance in life, I would say. Don't do too much, because if you end up doing too much, you become an addict. You become your own worst enemy, because that's what addicts are. You're really just your own worst enemy. Your own worst enemy, because really what you are doing as an addict, you're just really destroying your physical, mental, and spiritual state. How? Because you're repeating old cycles of old family ways, old generational curses that still need to be broken in your life. And basically, you're not just clashing out really at the world, you're clashing really at your own self, because it's what's inside of you. And I can say it's not what goes into a person that defiles them, it's what comes out. I don't even have to talk biblical. I don't have to say anything related, because I don't consider myself a Christian. I believe in a higher power, God, whatever. Um, you know, but I don't believe in being preachy with people. I just tend to say, be wise in life. Get all the experience in this world. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad, because at least you're learning. And do something with your life, because at least you're doing something. Don't be aimless in life. Even if it's something bad, at least you're doing something. Most people are just too afraid to get out in this world. Do what I did. You know what I did at a young age? I saved up almost $10,000, and I moved to a bigger city from a small town. Never been there before. Didn't know anything about it. I just went and I learned. I got experience. People need experience in life. And most people will try to call you out, because you know what? They're too afraid to do it themselves. They're too afraid of the unknown. Most people will never attempt anything, because if it's the unknown, it's like it's built into human nature. If it's unknown, oh, my parents didn't do it, so they did this. You're following everyone else. Why don't you follow your own path? Be one of those that follow your own path. I did. I follow my own path. Follow yours. Follow yours. Follow your own path. Learn. Grow. How else do we learn and grow if we don't experience life? How? There is no way. You need to experience life. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad. Ride the wave. Ride your own wave. Follow your own path. Follow your own path. Follow your own path. Follow your own path. If it's finding yourself, find yourself. If it's not about finding yourself, don't find yourself. But regardless of that, experience, 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 experience. Oh yeah, I was just listening to a favorite song earlier. It was by NBA Youngboy. What was the newest song? It was the some new song I had heard, "Purge Me" or something like that. Yeah, it's something in his voice. He changed up his vocals. I've noticed even a lot of singers. I don't use this for example. A lot of artists. And it's not such a bad thing, because I've learned this in life, that people are like, what happened to the old you? I missed you too. The old you back to the old. Well, no, because life is about growing and changing. We're not supposed to stay the old us. We're old, the old us for one time, that moment in life, and then we have to continue to grow. Because the human condition, yes, we're of fallen nature, if you tend to think about it. And no, I'm not going to use Bible. I don't have to use anything. If you really get down to it, no religion, no Bible, like something seems off about humans. Humans in general, in our nature. We like to stay stuck. We think we're stuck. That's also a part of the human nature. Fallen. We're of a dying nature. And you know what? If you go do research, you'll learn that even sperm counts in the human genes are decreasing. Why? How come is it that women are starting to act more like men? And it's not even just that. More women, I mean, they've even scientifically proved this. They're actually growing, that are actually getting, more certain women are actually getting more male traits, are becoming more masculine um, than males. And yeah, you can say, oh, they've been putting it in the water and the food this whole time. Well, yes, maybe, but like I say, going back to a universal standpoint, and I can state this from alchemy, because I've been studying alchemy for years, and it even kind of goes back to this too, that nothing in this universe is ever done. And I've heard stories like, oh, it's by accident. No, nothing is ever. Oh, child, you have so much to learn. Nothing is ever done by accident. I mean, that's just my belief. Take it or leave it. But if I was to choose one thing, if it was caught between, think it as a show like Jeopardy or Deal or No Deal, something that open your case, open this, choose this, and I had knowledge on my left side, I'm going to have wisdom on my right side. Which will I choose? Which would you choose? We choose the wisdom. Wisdom is not only everlasting, it's eternal. As in, it doesn't exist just in this physical realm, in this life that we're living now. It exists when this life is even done. Now, knowledge is not such a bad thing either, but the only thing is, though, knowledge is really, yeah, you can apply it to both sides, but is it everlasting? To an extent, but at the same time, it's not so much everlasting as wisdom is, because I wouldn't say it's so much eternal that you can know something that can really hold weight in this life, that is wisdom, that is found in wisdom, but is not held weight in knowledge. Like, and I can apply it to people that believe, that we came from monkeys or frogs, or like Darwin theory. Or I can apply it to some people believe, men can be women. Yeah, you can see that as true, because I can even use a scientific gene that, you can take a person, because there are people in this world, they get born male and female, and they call that a trait of heterozygous trait. The heterozygous meaning born of male and female traits. So, and it's almost like at the same time, you would have 4 traits. You'd have your own, you'd have your mom's, your dad's, but then you'd have the 4 traits of the male, female, your own trait, and from traits from your mom and dad as one. It's like 4, possibly even to 5 traits. But now I have different beliefs on that, but it doesn't matter what I believe. What does the reality say? What does reality say? Reality says, go and get good and bad experience. Go get experience, because with the experiences comes knowledge, but it also comes and you get wisdom from it. You've gone down this path, down this road, not only lived this life and made those choices, but you've also gone down that path, and the path is the wisdom. Really, in reality, the path is wisdom. Yes, the wisdom. I thought it was a good example of what I had used when I was talking about artists. Yeah, their flows change, their voices change, their whole looks change, because I think that's the best example. I think, you can apply that even butterflies, once they have to, go from a caterpillar to a butterfly. That's change. We're supposed to change. Even, yes, with artists, they sing and they change up their flow in their songs, and they don't look, and years later, they're obviously not the same. They're even better. And sometimes we have to go through even fires of different things and heat to produce out oils in our lives, or even things that will help grow us. Because I think if people end up choosing not to grow, they're really just like, to me, it's almost like you're spiritually decomposing. You're not becoming brighter. Have you ever noticed with entrepreneurs, and I'll give this example, entrepreneurs are some of the happiest people you'll ever see in your life and meet. I've met plenty of entrepreneurs in my life. And then I'm not talking about I met Grant Cardone, Ty Lopez, or any of those. Those are great entrepreneurs. Ty Lopez is actually, if you don't know who he is, he came out with these videos in Berg in 2016, 15, 16, 17, when he was showing off his Lamborghini and all this. And people thought he was arrogant, but no, he learned from, he was humble. He learned from a lot of entrepreneurs. He was on TED Talks. I remember back in 2011, 2012, I saw him on the first TED Talk, and I was trying to figure out who he was. And later on, throughout the years, he produced out more videos with also people like Grant Cardone. And the reason these people like that, even upper class people, famous people, whatever, that they are happy, especially when I apply it to I'll just keep it at entrepreneurships or entrepreneurs. Their minds keep changing. It's like people who learn new languages. Your mind stays sharp, wise. These people, it's actually studies have came out, scientific studies, and proven people who learn new languages, people who learn in the same path as entrepreneurs and everything, are less likely a chance and eat healthy and better. You're less likely in a chance to even catch dementia or Alzheimer's and everything, versus a person who never reads or who doesn't train their mind to read differently or to learn, also to learn in different ways instead of just that one path, one way of learning. Yes, the shoe doesn't fit all, but at the same time, you can fit the shoe onto more than one foot. Grow different feet, and you yourself can start to change your flow, mix things up, change. That's how we need to be thinking as human beings, changing our flow up, changing our mindsets, change and learn different ways of thinking, because I don't believe in evolution, but I do believe in a way we do evolve, and it can be either in a good way or a bad way. Think of people, someone that never evolves, stays aimless. They're really just decaying, so they honestly, they didn't evolve in a good way versus the person that learned, they changed things, they changed up a little bit, they had failure, but they had setbacks, and then they bounced back in and did it a different way. So your shoe size, you start taking that same shoe, applied maybe to the way you learn, and switch it up and put it on a different foot instead of the same foot. Don't keep putting the same shoe on the different foot. Maybe you'll put it on a different foot. You'll try the same shoe size, but a different design, a different logo, something else. Switch it up. That's what I'm trying to say. Even relationships, switch it up. How do you keep a relationship happy? You keep things exciting. You keep things going. Most people don't even understand these concepts until it's too late. Even when some of them, they finally get it, they don't even try because probably it's too late. They don't feel like trying. It could always be something. People, at the end of the day, it's always about the wisdom, because it's always the path. Gain experience, no matter good path, but it's about the path we take in this life. Because at the end of that road, it could be a good or a bad thing, but not to get religious or anything else. But personally, we need growth, we need change, we need good evolving as Homo sapiens, as the Homo sapien race. If we want to understand what true wisdom really means, understand the path you're going up, and not only the path you're going on, the path you're flowing on. For start, switch it up. Go through your ego death, drop the ego, drop the pride, learn, change it up, switch it up, understand flows, how they work. Almost like DNA. DNA can be represented as this. I like to apply the DNA concept, how I always talk about DNA with graphene, blue bloods, or red bloods. Always goes back to the DNA. You can even see, if you want to talk about anything, even I could say that even a Bible would be represented as DNA, and I'm not religious in no means, but I'm just saying that DNA is represented as wisdom as a flow, as a change in the state of a human being's mind. Our physicalities, our spiritualities, our mental qualities. Drop your ego, go to the ego and ego death, drop pride and ego, because they're only holding you back. You're not able to go forward and you're not evolving in the way you should be evolving. So, and apply that to DNA, because DNA is manufactured in the exact same way. Get it? Get it? Get it? Get it? Get it? Get it? DNA, 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 DNA. We all need to be evolving. And you wonder, people wonder, is like, why is there there are shifts in this world that are taking place, and it's almost like multiple shifts gathered into one to make a big split shift in our world. And you can see it as good or evil, but I've also even heard from other people that you can see it as knowledge or ignorance versus wisdom, or ignorance versus the knowledge and the wisdom. You could kind of see it in both realms if you wanted to. Blue as in I don't know, it just differs in our world. But be open. You learn in your own way. Have no ego, have no pride. Because if you want to know something that's gonna make you not evolve at all, or not much at all, it's gonna be your ego and your pride. Let those be the DNA that dies, and have your DNA that's strong, that has no limits, that knows no limits, and is open to everything. We need to keep evolving as human beings. Keep evolving, keep re-evolving, re-evaluating. We go stronger, we go wiser. We don't grow denser, we go stronger. We actually grow with more momentum, strength, solitude, and refinement. But we're not so refined that we're holding back, we're scared, but we're actually pushing and pressing forward to resilience and resistance, that we keep pressing on as a race of human beings. I believe this is the time now that it's just like that we drop our egos and our pride. If you want to keep evolving, you experience as much as you can. You learn. You're not afraid to learn something new, something different. Learn in different ways. And if the shoe doesn't fit, grab the other shoe of a different brand, of a different logo, and put that shoe on. Something will work. It may not work for the same person. Whatever the person has may not work for you, but something will work and fit. I promise. 30 years has taken me to learn this. 30 years. And these entrepreneurs, I've heard them talk about this, and they're not so wrong at all, because, and I kind of apply it in my own context. If the shoe doesn't apply in the same manner, grab a different shoe with a different logo and a different design, because something will help you switch it up and to look at it differently than how you're looking at it, read it differently than how you're reading it, and perceive it differently than how you're perceiving it. Maybe you're perceiving it in such a negative aspect. Switch it up and perceive it as, how you've heard those statements like, I'm scared to talk in a public setting in front of a lot of people. Well, maybe you go out and you heard someone say, well, imagine the audience in their underwear. It kind of makes it easier. Imagine you're just talking to your family, or imagine something that would produce out something greater out of the situation, or better, or make the situation more positive. So you'll go in and it's easier for you. I used to be afraid of heights. I overcame. I jumped out of an airplane at over 12,000 feet. I used to be afraid to talk in public. What do? I talk in public now. I'm able to go out in public and to do different things because I overcame my struggles and battles. I could have taken on a bubble boy suit, or been like, have a bubble boy mentality, as I like to say, and not done these. I switched it up. I overcame, so can you. How else do we evolve as human beings? We overcome. We overcome. That's how we keep evolving. That's how we keep evolving as a race. 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 This is how. This is how. This is how we keep evolving as human beings. Look, age defy, dark circle, puffiness circle. Look at this as even, well, if you keep evolving and keep growing your mind to learn and switch up in different ways about your flow, because if you learn to learn in different ways, you're switching up your flow. It's like, when rappers and artists even sing their songs, write their music, they can easily switch up their flow. And look at that as learning in different ways. You're switching up your flow, your flow, your flow, your flow, your flow mentally. And that's another way you grow and come out of your cocoon to evolve into a beautiful butterfly that shines brighter than the rest. And they're wondering, well, how did you do it? Because I switched up my flow. Simple. I just switched up the flow. The flow, the flow, the flow, the flow, the flow. And many will laugh. They only laugh because they're too afraid to do it themselves in something of their own pride, ego, nature. They haven't even gone through the ego death or killed their pride. And let all these other things hold them back, 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 and back. We have to go through these steps because actually, in reality, this is actually really, if you learn different laws of the universe, this is actually one of the laws as a human being. This is how we evolve as human beings. We switch up our mental flows in our lives, mentally and physically. It's just like we're writing our own songs in our own lives. So it's like, you've ever heard of Ohm's law and, different laws and scientific in the universe of how things work. This is like one of our own laws as human beings. It's our own natures as well. So look at that. Don't be afraid to, switch up your own flow when you're learning too. So don't be afraid. It'll come. It'll come. Just don't be afraid. That's the only thing that's gonna hold you back is you. And you know what? The spirit of fear doesn't come from a spirit of light. It comes from a spirit of darkness. And that spirit's trying to hold you back in life. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. So, and even like brushing your teeth. Don't apply normal toothpaste. Apply some charcoal toothpaste to your teeth. So, so switch up. What have we learned today, kids? We have learned today that we need to switch up our mental flow if we want to evolve as human beings and as the human race. Because I promise you, this is actually required as human beings in our field. This is how we evolve and grow. 30 years, I promise you. And, switch it up. Switch it up. Switch it up. Look at the situation differently. Look how you read it. Look how you learn it. Look at it differently. Take a step back. Visualize it. Look at 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 it. You'll learn. You're gonna learn. You ever heard the saying, you're gonna learn today? You're gonna learn today a little bit. You're gonna learn. Well, yeah, you're gonna learn today. You're gonna learn how to switch up your flow in the way you learn. You're gonna definitely learn today, kids. Except you can even call adults kids because in reality, some adults, and not just the aimless ones in life, let's not get that right, but even the ones that are career motivated and know things in life that maybe even they went to big universities and schools, they're still kids trapped in adult bodies because they're really not adults. They really don't know much, if know anything about life in general. You don't have to go to a big school university to know things in general about life. The path of wisdom versus just the path of knowledge and reality. There's a lot of people now that even go to even bigger schools and they think they know it is about everything about life. You don't know jack squat about life. Yeah, you went to some of these big pristine universities and schools, but you don't know jack squat about life. Because I promise you, even a homeless person would know more and have more wisdom than you would. I promise you that. Go talk to them. I promise you they have. A lot of older people have a lot more wisdom than a lot of people even that go to the most prestigious universities. So, you know, choose the path that will produce out good oils in your life, that will produce out something greater than you can even only perceive of your own self. Your own self. And don't forget, the ego and pride are actually not even real. It's like DNA. You burn both to create the new, but keep the good. You know what you want in this life. And obviously, yes, there is spiritual things even in our own world that we can learn from as well. I'm not talking about just going to some guru, or even to psychic, because I've done both. I've done all that, gurus, psychics. I mean, yeah, there's good things you can probably see, but at the same time, what spiritual state are they flowing from, and what are they pulling out of that is what you want to ask the questions. You don't have to go in and just know the right questions to ask. Just don't go in, because that's not really how wisdom is produced. Wisdom is produced by going in and knowing the right questions to ask. It doesn't matter if you're going into a car dealership, whatever. You just pick which state you're going to flow in, and you just flow in that, and that, and that, and that. And as far as relationships go, going back to what I was saying, pick someone in a relationship that can either help you grow, or just someone that you don't have to worry about going in and feel like, because I even learned this from my renter, and this could actually be used as wisdom. Don't pick someone in life that you have to worry about if you're going to have to go in and change that person. If you feel like you have to don't. Just move on. Don't pick that person and go on. So a lot of people, even now, you have to worry and wonder if you have to go in and change them. It's not good. If you have to ask that question, step away, go to another person, find another person, or just don't. Maybe dating, marriage is not for you, or maybe it just takes a little bit more time, but you'll find the right person, And I know y'all want to find the right person in this life, but not everyone. Yes, some people are cut out for just the sex and romance and just simple relations here and there. But some people, at the end of the day, are not cut out for relationships because they are not wise people at all. They don't bear any good things in their life, especially physically, spiritually, because I promise you, a lot of things, even physically, are produced out first spiritually and are brought forth to the surface. And if you want to know wisdom, don't go in. If you have to change a person, don't go in. Either it's for you or it's working against you. For you or working against you. For you or it's working against you. Have wisdom, or you're just aimless. I'll stop right there. Fire nice. Fire nice.